Max.
Because I'm hopeful. Hey, Max is Max.
Okay, he is Max, and it's a rain. As long as they don't give him a shitty setup like they did
In P3, I'm divided.
An 8-foot tall wing for Max.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Around the Circuit, Apollo Media's Formula One podcast. As always, I'm Junior, joined by Mark and Ivan. It's race week. It is race week. Finally. It has been a long break. They're finally back. Boys, we're in Spa.
Finally stopped playing
on the calendar.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I don't know. Just something about Eau Rouge just does it for me. Like,
oh, yeah.
Outside of Spa, like my probably like top three is like Spa, Coda, and I don't know. I like the track of Monaco, but you know we've talked about that race before. But yeah, Spa is like up there for me. I love it. I love watching it. I watch GT. I don't even watch GT or endurance racing much, but if I see they're racing at Spa, I'm like, oh, what's going on?
Oh yeah.
We're playing the games. Like I was telling you earlier, I like to try to test it and try to go see how fast I can go through Eau Rouge before I spin out and crash. But now, it's been a long break. We had a lot of speculation and news coming out. We talked about it last week about, you know, the whole Red Bull drama, Christian Horner being fired. Where the hell is Max going? There's just the uncertainty in Red Bull in general. We don't know which four drivers are going to be on those two teams going into 2026 now. It's just all in shambles. But McLaren isn't going anywhere. They're still dominating this season. And Ferrari is bringing huge upgrades apparently to Spa that looks like they're eager to get on the track and test. Mark, that's your team. How are we feeling about the
It doesn't even matter. I mean, we're going to go into the practices and either it's going to be we're bad or we're really good, and it's not going to matter then because then we're going to go into qualifying and either Q1, Q2, we're top two, and then Q3, we just shit the bed. So if we're fast, we're fast. It's Ferrari, man.
It's Ferrari. What else am I supposed to say? It's hard to get hopeful.
From what I hear, the biggest thing that they're looking forward to is that they can finally have their ride heights not have to be like dang near on the ground. So that's like a big thing for Ferrari. I'm excited for these upgrades. I mean, I'm assuming at some point McLaren's just going to stop working on this car and like this is going to be the be-all end-all car. So for Ferrari, this, from what it sounds like, this is maybe their last major upgrade of the year too.
Yeah, I think we're at the point in the season where a lot of teams are like, look, we might have one more upgrade, maybe two if we're lucky, and it's time to just focus. This is what's going to happen: is get what we can out of the season from now. Yeah, and then let's focus on the new regs for 2026.
We're getting to that point for sure. And I know some other teams are trying to build some upgrades, but like we're at the last round. I would assume I would be shocked if not by Texas, probably by Zandorf, to be honest, that we're going to have like the last round of upgrades coming in. So this is key for Ferrari. I mean, for as bad of a season that a lot of the fan bases felt like they've had, they still are number 2 in the constructors. But at the same time, that's what Ferrari tends to do every single year. I think what they finished second, 4 times this decade already?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's P2. Ridiculous. Yeah, they're a regular P2. So, I mean, they just can't seem to get over that hump. But, I mean, like Ferrari always says, there's always hope for next year. But at Spa, I have a lot of hope for them. I think Lewis, the defending race winner, he's going to put on a show. And I put that in quotations for a reason. If you watched last year, you know what I mean by that.
Yeah, man. I think like you mentioned, Zandvoort's probably going to be. I mean, Zandvoort's the first race coming out of the official summer break. Yeah. Because we have Spa this weekend, we have Hungary next week, and then we get the 3 weeks off before we go into Zandvoort and really wrap up the season, the last, 9 races or so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would expect that Ferrari is going to push this upgrade as far as they can, get everything out of it. I saw some report that said that in testing, they're finding as much as a 10th.
That's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time.
It doesn't sound a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot. So a whole 10th, mid-season, it gets you in the fight a little bit. Maybe gets you a couple more race wins. Yeah. Secures P2 because at the end of the day, we've already talked about McLaren's has run away with the Constructors' Championship this year, but it keeps you P2. That paycheck is a little bit bigger at the end of the season.
Yep.
The wind tunnel time is going to be important, I'm sure, with next year's new regs and everything that you got to do to test going into it. It's also a sprint weekend. I think this is the first time it's been a sprint weekend at Spa in a while, no?
I know they do. I feel like they alternate every other year at Spa with these sprint weekends.
Is it?
But, well, and actually, no. I think they haven't done it in about 2 years now that they haven't done one.
So it's been a couple years.
For me, it's like if there's not one at Red Bull Ring, there's one at Spa. If there's not one at Spa, there's one at Red Bull Ring. I don't know how they determine that, but that's the way it seems like they always do it.
Yeah. And then, Spa just got that contract extension. They're going to be – it's going nowhere. It's there until at least 2031, which is awesome for me because my dream goal, I'm telling you, one day I'm going to sit in Eau Rouge, in those grandstands at Eau Rouge and just watch a race.
Is that the track that's alternating, or is that Zandorf that's going to alternate with another track?
Spa will be alternating, I think.
Yeah.
And then Zandvoort's last year on the calendar is next year.
Okay.
So if I hit the lottery, I'll be in Amsterdam to be able to go to that race next year.
All right.
Next August.
Yeah.
But
we'll be expecting live on the scene reporting then.
Live on the scene.
I hope so, man. I will gladly pass up on Coda next year to be in Zandvoort.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. Man, you know what? What do we think our predictions are for the sprint? Because sprints are always funny. A lot of people like them. A lot of people don't. We've talked about that before in a previous episode, but I don't know. My best guess is I think Ferrari is gonna win the sprint. Lewis is good, and it's hard to screw up a strategy when there is none.
Yeah.
Put the right tires on it from the get-go and let's go.
Yeah.
And if that upgrade works, I don't see why Lewis can't win another sprint this year.
Yeah, just fuck it. Why not? Why not, man? Why not? Are we predicting right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just for the sprint. Just for the sprint.
Okay.
Yeah, not the race. Yeah.
Well, screw it. I'll go Lewis to win the sprint. He did it at the beginning of the year. I forget. Was it China?
China, I think it was. Yeah.
So, I'll just go with Lewis again. If this upgrade really does work out, I see no reason why Lewis or Charles cannot win or even just get on top 3. Like
a good qualifying would be nice.
A good qualifying will definitely set it up to get a good result for both races. But, I think Lewis will win the sprint.
Yeah, I think Lewis has a good chance to win the sprint. I think... As much as I don't want to say the McLaren, you know what? No, I'm not going to say the McLaren boys. I think there's going to be a shocking winner. I would say somebody maybe George Russell redeems himself from last year's debacle that happened after the race to win the sprint race at least. But for me, the favorites would have to be McLaren and Ferrari, obviously. I wouldn't be surprised. I just got to see more pace from them. That's Sauber, and I can't believe I'm saying that. That Sauber kind of showed something with their upgrades that they've had at Silverstone, not just because of Nico, but, he was able to stay ahead of Lewis as the track was drying. That's something that you couldn't say a Sauber could do probably in a decade. So, that's shocking to see. So, I want to see what their upgrades in dry conditions do. Mercedes, the only thing that scares me is, man, they are so dependent on that track has to be cool as heck. If you have a hot track, that's what happened last year with George and how he got disqualified in the whole race was the tire wear was too bad because the Mercedes does not do good in hot weather. So
here's the thing, though. There's rain predicted all weekend, and
that's the thing too.
That's right.
So not only will that play to Ferrari's favor because we've seen the McLaren boys. They're good in the rain, but they do tend to have little mistakes sometimes.
Yeah,
Lewis is Lewis, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that upgrade works, it's just something that works in his favor. I told Mark I'm not even going to mention Max much this episode because I don't know. Red Bull's not showing me anything. There's just too much uncertainty, too much going on. I will let him surprise me if he gets a win. Not because of him, but because of that car. You know what I mean? And we'll go from there.
Yeah.
I don't blame you, man. I appreciate Red Bull for all they've done the past 2 weeks to help keep the sport alive, but at the same time, y'all need to get back on track and start figuring some stuff out. It's been a circus anywhere from plane tracking to boat tracking to where's Max today? Oh, Max's plane just took off. Let's go back to the track. Let's get some stuff done and see what the heck is the next steps. Because to be honest, we still don't know what's going on with that saga. So,
and we won't probably won't know until after summer break.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I mentioned last week, I think coming out of the summer break, probably going into Max's home race is where I would expect him to make an announcement if he makes any. Yeah. And then the rest of the dominoes on the paddock fall after that. Because there's just, if Max goes, how does that affect George or Kimi? How does that affect any other team that sees these two drivers available now?
Yeah.
You know how it goes. Speaking of drivers, though, that are potentially signing, well, I guess one team to mention is Aston Martin. You know, we talked about the possibility of them signing somebody new or, you know, some way. They came out yesterday or today and reaffirmed and said, hey, no, Fernando and Lance are our guys. They have contracts for next year. We're out of this. This is our drivers for next year.
Lawrence Stroll, get your head out of your ass. You have to wake up.
I think it's fair to say that as much as we say Lance's time should have come to an end already, if you're Lawrence Stroll and your kid's out there, you have Adrian Newey building your car for next year, and you have Honda engines, it's fair to say, hey, let me keep my son one more year in these new regs and see what he can do. From there, then we move on. And then you have a former world champion in Fernando Alonso.
Yeah. If Lance Stroll comes out this next year and that car is good and he doesn't provide like good results, you have to look yourself in the mirror and be like, hey, like my kid needs to go.
At that point,
my kid is ass.
Poor Felipe Dragovich, y'all. He's sitting over there saying, maybe I'll finally get a chance. Maybe I'll get my shot. Remember, Oscar, we used to race together, man. Remember the good old days? And nah, he can't even get that crap back now. I mean, Aston Martin, here's the thing. I feel like this is kind of them getting ahead of the game because, yes, this is Aston Martin saying we want our same lineup, but at the same time, they're not going to be solo next year. They also have Honda coming along, which Honda's going to have some say-so in it. And I believe Aramco is the company buying in more into Aston Martin now too, so they'll have a say-so as well. So instead of just Lawrence being the be-all, end-all at that team, starting next year, it's going to have two other entities that he's got to answer to. So, I mean, obviously, if they see that Lance isn't doing good, I guess to be, as a something as a token, I guess I should say, they'll say, hey, Lance, we'll give you 1 year with all three of us here. Mm-hmm. But if you don't do good in that 1 year, brother, you gone. Yeah. Like, you out of that seat. Yeah. Like, and you are out of that seat.
I think that's the point that they're at is can't get any worse. Let's give him a great car designed by the god of F1 himself, essentially.
Yes.
We'll see. We'll see what or I guess god of F1 engineering.
And this will be my obligatory my one Lance Stroll comment or compliment of the year. He is a great wet weather racer. So with the weather being like it's supposed to be this weekend, it is set up for him maybe to have a very, very good weekend. And he still is ahead of Fernando. But, I mean, Fernando's had like one of the worst luck on the grid the entire year. He should be beating him, but he just hasn't. Yeah, him and Carlos have probably had like the worst luck on the grid this year so far.
Yeah. It's worth mentioning, too, with Cadillac. It seems like Cadillac and Alpine are both in the mix for about 6 different drivers.
Yeah.
I saw today that Jack Doohan's team reached out to Cadillac. So it's going to come down to, does Cadillac want to run 2 experienced drivers or do they want to run 1 and 1? An experienced driver and 1 upcomer, newbie, second, third year racer. You got Jack Doohan. Cadillac is still in heavy talks with Mick, who is... His name has been linked to the team for quite some time now.
Yeah.
Checo Perez is all but signed with Cadillac. Alpine is still looking at Checo. They're still looking at, could we get Valtteri? Valtteri's talking to both teams as well, I saw.
Yep.
So it's a matter of who's going to sign with which team, who's going to pick up the other, because I would assume Alpine only has 1 seat to fill. They have Pierre still. They're not going to get rid of him.
I hope not. I hope not. That's been a little bit of the scary part for me is that there's been some rumors saying that if the opportunity is there to replace both drivers and they're good enough, he would, which kind of like disappoints me because, I mean, you already got 1 good driver. Yeah. Like, you just need 1 more.
I think here's the thing with that is if you're Alpine, if you're Flavio, and you're looking at your driver lineup and the potential drivers that are available, you got Yuki Tsunoda, you got Valtteri Bottas, you got Checo Perez, you got Mick Schumacher, Jack Doohan, you still got Franco Colapinto. You name all those drivers, there's not but maybe 1 or 2 that you could say could be put in a car and outperform Pierre right now.
Yeah.
Valtteri, Checo maybe. The rest are maybe like on par or worse than him.
Yeah.
So if you're Flavio, you're looking at filling one seat. And then if Pierre obviously doesn't perform in a better car or next year, then you obviously we know how fast things can change.
From what I've heard, Alpine is very confident in the next year because, ironically, building the car has never been the problem for Alpine, despite last year where they had to paint the car all black so it wouldn't be overweight half the year.
Yeah.
It's always been the engine. Like I said a lot of times, that engine is something where I know they said that they were doing great for this regulations and they were kind of disappointed when they shut down the Alpine engine program. But, I mean, it's been like this since Horner had Vettel, that they've been complaining about Renault engines for this long. So, I mean, when it's consistently this bad, and Red Bull fans will remember the horrible times that Vettel and then early Max had to go through with reliability.
Yeah.
Danny Rick had to go through the same thing. Like, that engine is not built to last. So I understand the disappointment in like losing and being your own manufacturer of your own engines, but at the same time, the time and the writing is on the wall. I still think like last week, Valtteri to me makes the most sense. You're moving over to Mercedes engines. You have a person that's driven Mercedes engines most of his entire career.
Yeah.
I feel like it would just be a match. I do think Mick deserves a second chance. So I feel like him at, a brand new team wouldn't be bad. Having him and Sergio would be a really, really good combo. You have
I think so too.
two drivers that bring in a ton of publicity.
Yeah.
Checo brings in all the Mexican fans and all the Mexican money, and the same thing with the German money.
The Schumacher name alone.
Yeah, and the Schumacher name alone.
And here's the thing too. You think about it. If you're an American team going into this sport, it's your first year in the sport. The only other American team technically is Haas, but they don't get the support behind it.
Yeah.
Your average casual fan here in America, or somebody that's just watched the movie and is coming into the sport, or just watched like just binge DTS and they're coming to the sport. Cadillac's gonna be their team, you know what I mean? Like, Cadillac's the American team I want to be. Which names do people who don't know F1 still recognize when it comes to F1?
Yeah.
Andretti, Schumacher.
Yeah, names
like that. You put a Schumacher in that car with that name, and you pull somebody off the street and be like, "Hey, did you know? There's an American team on the grid now. It's a new team in F1, and Michael Schumacher's son is one of the drivers." Come on now.
Yep.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I went to Andretti's go-karts over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Blast, by the way.
Yeah.
But if I walk through there and I go to these go-kart guys and be like, "Hey, do you guys watch F1? Oh, no. Do you know who Michael Schumacher is? Oh, yeah. Do you know his son drives for an American team?" Bro, it's that easy. You know what I mean? Like, other than Mario Andretti, like, there's not a whole lot of names that your average American is going to know when it comes to our sport. So,
even my dad, like, he knows who Michael Schumacher is, and he doesn't know the sport at all.
I think when you look at it, not only his drivability and his skill on the track, the publicity, like you said, and the money that comes with it, as a new team in the sport where cash rules all, to me, it's an easy choice.
Yeah.
But
obviously we had our dream lineup at the beginning.
Yeah, we had our dream lineup at the beginning.
But as it's gone on, Checo and Mick seem like the best option as of right now. Bottas, it would be nice to see him in Cadillac, but I honestly think Alpine has swooped in and they're like, no, we want Bottas.
Yeah, I think you put Pierre and Bottas in pink, that's a pretty decent lineup too.
I'll be watching.
Yeah,
I'll be watching.
I'm down.
I'm surprised though, to be honest. And I mean, I know kudos on Fernando for getting Gabby like a 2-year deal, but at the same time, I'm really surprised that like a German manufacturer entering the sport isn't at least trying to want to look at Mick. Yeah, especially with like. Because to me, like the conspiracy theory I've seen online by a couple people have been, you would bring in Mick to Audi when they become Audi and keep him with Nico. So you have an all-German lineup with the German team. And then Gabby would then move to like an Alpine or some other team that has an open spot.
I mean, and we've seen crazier things happen too.
Yeah.
I think obviously with Binotto and them, like last year, they started bringing in the team they want to lead Audi. Not necessarily Kick Sauber. They started bringing in the team that wanted to lead Audi next year. I think them signing Gabby to a 2-year deal was part of that. They're like, look, he's going to come in. He's going to race in a Sauber his rookie year. However he can, learn, get the experience, whatever points he can get us. We go from there. In 2026, when we're Audi and we're committed to, all right, Gabby gets one more year. And if not, then we move on.
Yeah.
And I think that's the structure it seems like they've built within that team to kind of stabilize it for the future. You know what I mean? As far as Audi is concerned.
Yeah, and for fans who don't know, like a lot of teams tend to do this. Like especially after Hulk got his podium last week, there were so many stories that came out about if Lewis had not accepted the deal by Mercedes to go from McLaren to Mercedes, that was their next in line. Was Nico Hulkenberg was going to go, and they were going to make literally Nico Rosberg and Nico Hulkenberg were going to be teammates if Lewis didn't take the Mercedes offer. So, I mean, we see manufacturers do this all the time. It's always fascinating. Like, all these stories that'll come out, and you'll hear about these drivers that could have, would have been, Danny Ricciardo at Ferrari was almost a possibility. So, that's the good part about the sport. The silly, that would have been sick.
Could you imagine?
Danny Rick at Ferrari with Vettel at that time? It would have been hell to pay.
What a dream that would have been. Maybe a fever dream, but it would have been a dream. Right? You know what I mean?
But yeah, that's why we love this sport for its silly season. But yeah, for newer fans or fans that haven't been in the sport for too long, a lot of these manufacturers at least like to try to get someone can bring some recognition back home for the engine manufacturer. So same thing with like Honda and Yuki. It never stops in this sport.
Yeah. Yep. Man, I just want news already. I need something confirming where these drivers are going to be. I think it's probably going to be summer break before we really get anything. I would be honestly super surprised if we go into Austin at COTA and we don't hear something from Cadillac.
Yeah.
At the latest. With summer break coming up, I don't think we're going to hear much from anyone until afterwards, but COTA just sounds like we're in America. It's the United States Grand Prix. Yeah. We are the United States team. Let's make an announcement.
It's like,
and like I told y'all, man, last year Checo's fan base out there at that track was insane. I had no idea. I guess I should have known.
Yeah.
Texas being a hugely populated Mexican American state.
Yeah.
Bro, the fans were going nuts. He was in like P5, I don't know. He was like towards the back. And every time he passed by during the race, people were just going crazy for him, bro. Yeah. It was nuts. They don't give a shit where he's at on the track. They just know he's there. That's their guy. Yeah. So I can only imagine an announcement.
It feels like the perfect time
to
announce.
It really
even
does.
Just Checo.
Yeah.
Like just Checo.
If you don't announce both drivers, at least announce Checo.
Really actually show the team colors, not some...
And I've heard he lives nearby. So I could see him making an appearance in Austin for the announcement. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just speculating and dreaming. Yeah.
Try to speak it into realization.
Speak it into existence because I'll be there. And if that happens, I'm at that announcement no matter what.
What week do you think we get to until the drivers are pulling like last year where they told Carlos, we're just waiting on that guy to make the decision and then everybody else can make their moves? Because to me, it seems like that's Max's role this year. Yeah, I was going to say, well, after Zandvoort, I guess you're saying, is like if he doesn't make a decision then, or some of the other drivers going to be like, all right, because they got pretty heated at Carlos last year when they were like, brother, pick a team, man.
Everybody was kind of waiting on Carlos to see where he was going to sign. It was the Carlos saga.
That was just Carlos. You're talking about Max.
Yeah, now we're talking about Max.
That's what I'm saying. Like Max has even more options, bro.
I think it comes down to he has two options. It's Mercedes or it's Red Bull. Yeah. And I think to me it comes down to a question of his loyalty. We know he's loyal to Red Bull. He's super thankful for everything they've done. Somebody asked him about, how does the team look to you now without Christian, because Christian's been there his whole career. Yeah. And he said, we want to be back on top. The mission never changes. And so I think if I'm Max Verstappen, it's if I leave, how much do people question my loyalty to the team, or do they understand? Like that internal battle. Yeah. Max isn't a very open guy emotionally, or in general to the especially to the press. So we'll never get those kind of stories out of him. Yeah. But if I'm him, I can only assume that that's maybe that. And then what does the money look like? What is how promising does Mercedes look next year? How promising does Red Bull not look next year? He just wants to win. He wants to be on the track and he wants to win. That's all he wants to do is just race and win. So I don't know. I think after Zandvoort, if he doesn't make an announcement, like say we got 9 races left after that, 8 races left after that, people are going to be like, all right, dude, what are we doing? You got drivers like Checo, Bottas, Mick. They're waiting for the domino to fall. Kimmy, George. George still don't have a contract, and we're already over halfway through the season.
Yep.
Again,
Yuki,
that's one of the
Liam,
things.
Hadjar, Arvin down in F2. You know, it's just it's a domino effect, man. And we're just waiting. We're waiting for the first one to fall.
That's just another one of the things where it's like, man, is Max to Mercedes really out? And George hasn't signed a contract.
Man, even if I am George, if I re-sign with Mercedes, you know there's got to be some kind of like
hesitant, like, hey, like you guys were about to replace me. I know it.
At what point, or has George started listening to other team, talking to Cadillac, talking to Alpine, talking to anyone who might want to fill in a different seat? Like, hey, by the way, I don't have a contract. What do y'all think about me coming to race for y'all? You have to explore your options if you're him, because you have half the season left, only half a season left, maybe, before you might not have a seat next year at this point. You know what I mean?
It's like, what if a team like Alpine is waiting to sign a second driver to see, like, oh, wait.
Well, if George is available, maybe we go for George.
If George is like
Bottas or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then if Red Bull loses both Yuki and Max, do they start looking at those drivers? I'm not even going to get into it again because we already know.
Mike, I still have this conspiracy theory in my head. There's got to be a reason Aston, because nobody was talking about Aston when they released the statement. That's the weird timing about that.
The only thing that got mentioned with Aston is that they're with Honda now.
Yeah.
Obviously, Honda loves Max, and then Yuki is like the Honda driver on the paddock.
Yeah.
So, do they replace Lance or both with one of those two guys? Or
see, I feel like that statement they put out may have been them getting ahead of it, because Honda's not there. So I feel like this is my conspiracy theory, is that they possibly had that's Aston Martin's excuse to be like, no, we were committed to our guys. Now we have a new partner that would like to go in a different direction, and to help our partners out, we'll get a new driver. Which that's the only reason why I think Max has 3 options instead of 2. Yeah. I still think Lawrence Stroll is so cunning sometimes with what he does. He's sneaky. He acts in silence.
What's funny is when Newey announced he was leaving Red Bull, I told a friend of mine, he was originally linked to, I can't remember what team it was.
Ferrari at first.
And Ferrari said, no, we don't want him. When that announcement came out, I told my friend, I said, look, Lawrence Stroll is fixing to throw the bank at this guy. And she's like, no way. I don't. She's like, I just watch. 2-3 months later, that signing happened. I was like, do I know ball or what? Do I know
wheel or what?
He gave him part ownership of the car brand. Like, that's how much they threw at him. They're like, you can own 3 to 5% of Aston Martin brand.
Lawrence is a walking bank, bro. The man is so. I remember my first time watching Drive to Survive. I was not really knowing much about who these guys were. I was like, man, Lawrence Stroll is just like money. Like money, bro.
Money. Just throwing stacks of thousands of dollars at
he's like a Wolf of Wall Street, just throwing it off the boat.
I know. Oh, man. Their factory already is still pristine. They've got the best factory on the grid. They've got the most money to spend. That's why I don't want to put them out of the running. I just think, man, they're going to make some splash. I don't think they're done making splashes, because the current way the team is set up, you can't work like that. So I guess my wild prediction, and I'll see if this works out later on, would be they're either getting Max or Christian. Yeah. One of the two is going over there.
You think so?
I think one of the two is going. I think that would be their sneaky move, because, I mean, I know their team principal hasn't been doing bad, but at the same time, this is a new era for them. 2026 is the time when they need to take off.
Could you imagine Christian coming back at Aston? That would be wild. I think that would all but secure Max not going there. But
yeah, well, that's why I said one or the other.
Even they then, all things aside, you sign a team principal like Christian to lead your team with Newey, and
Christian's gonna show up. Let's run it back.
Oh man, it's gonna be wild. It'd be wild. It'd be wild. So, we talked about all these drivers lineups. We talked about Ferrari might be making a significant impact. Red Bull and Mercedes are quiet. I haven't seen anything as far as upgrades or anything coming out of them. So your top 4 teams, it's almost easy to make a prediction for Spa this week, for the actual race on Sunday. It's got to be. Do we want to get into the predictions already?
That's fine with me.
Yes.
I just had a funny thought. I love the idea that Mercedes doesn't have any upgrades because Toto's been out the office chasing Max around the globe the past few weeks.
Hold on, what about this? No.
I'm busy.
I need to do something.
I gotta go to Italy real quick, guys. I gotta go to Italy.
I'm in Italy. I'm in Monaco. I'll be back. Just make sure everything goes. Don't worry about the upgrades. We'll get
George
him in
re-signing? What about George's contract?
So we'll get into our predictions for the Belgian Grand Prix in Spa. I'm going to do the split. I still think it's going to be a double McLaren podium because the track is fast. They're fast. It's hard not to predict them to think. I think Oscar wins. We get Lewis in P2 and then Lando in P3. I think that I am, as a non-Ferrari fan, I am hopeful for that upgrade.
Shit. Man, I don't know. I thought I had my predictions already ready, but now, bro, everything going on. Jesus. Oh, crap.
You want me to take this one while you think, or you got it?
I got it.
All right.
I was going to pick Lando to win,
Okay.
but I've changed my mind, especially with the rain conditions. I think Oscar will win. I think Max will get P2.
Max.
Because I'm hopeful. Hey, Max is Max.
Okay. He is Max, and it's the rain. As long as they don't give him a shitty setup like they did.
In P3, I'm divided.
An 8-foot tall wing for Max.
P3. I've been debating it this whole show. But I'm going to go Lando. I think Lando's going to stick in there, keep that championship fight alive. Driver of the day, Max, obviously.
Okay.
If he gets P2, I think he gets driver of the day.
See, and I'll stick with the same thought process. If Lewis gets P2 for my predictions, he gets driver of the day.
For me, it's constantly going to be a lot similar to y'all's. So I'll have Lewis winning in the wet conditions. I'll have Oscar finishing second, and then I'll have Max finishing third.
Okay.
I think something's going to happen with the McLaren drivers, especially in the rain. We've seen that, like you said earlier, Junior, they don't really have top tier pace in the rain. So the two drivers that have the best pace, I expect them to be doing the best over here. And like we said, Lewis is the defending champion of this race. Max has won this race 1,000 times. So yeah, I think that'll be the podium for this week. Going out with the driver of the day too. You know what? I think he's going to be riding a wave. I want to say Nico Hulkenberg gets another driver of the day.
Yeah.
I want to say something with that Sauber kicks in because he seems to be in like one of the best runs of his life. So let's keep that run going. So I'll say Nico gets a driver of the day.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's funny that we mentioned like the McLarens might be struggling in the rain when in Silverstone, like they dominated in the rain. But
first race of the year, Lando.
Yeah. But even then, Spa's a little bit different. Ferrari's got the upgrades.
Yeah.
Hopefully Max won't be on a crazy setup. And we'll see. We'll go from there.
Yeah.
Another big performance from Nico though would make me happy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's why I said that.
Like that would be huge. Just because, I mean, everybody was a Nico fan last week or 2-3 weeks ago, however long.
The past 2 weeks.
Yeah, everybody. I think he came out like a week later, even after the race, just saying, "Hey, thanks for all the love. Like I appreciate the support." It was nice to see like the F1 fan base united, even for like. A day or two, you know.
I've never watched as many Nico Hulkenberg videos on YouTube as I've watched the past 2 weeks, bro.
The amount of edits for Nico that I saw on TikTok over the last couple of weeks, dude, insane.
It compared to
I always see Max edits. I always see Lando and Oscar and Lewis edits. Like Max and Lewis have the most that I've ever seen. You know, naturally. But the amount of Nico ones that came out these last couple of weeks.
It compared to like Charles winning Monaco last year. How many edits I saw of him. Like
it was up there. It was funny. I mean, he got P3.
Yeah.
But I mean,
him and Bortoletto, I've seen that too. Like they've turned them into Carlando over there with Gabby and Nico over there.
Yeah, that was awesome.
They've turned them over there.
To hear when Gabby jumped on the radio, congratulated him. I think that was cool. It awesome. Reminded me of when Max won the championship in 2021 and Alex was on the mic. He was the first one on the radio screaming to Max. I think I always love Alex for that. That was dope.
Yeah.
Worth mentioning though, I should have mentioned it earlier when we were talking about all the upgrades and stuff like that. Did y'all see the news going into next year about the floors?
Yes, very excited about that.
No more Venturi tunnels, flat floors going into next year.
Williams style, baby.
Yeah, it's flat floors and powerful engines. If Max don't make that jump to Mercedes, brother, the formula is right there. It's spelling out success for you. I'm not saying I'm trying to jump ship on Red Bull as soon as possible, but
you're just like, if it happens, I'll be excited.
Yeah, I've told people, everybody keeps asking me, they're like, is Max gone? Is Max gone? At this point, I'm gonna be more surprised if he stays than if he leaves.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't know. I'm looking forward to Spa. Like I said, I love this track. I love this race. Something about Eau Rouge just tickles me, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just something, especially like when you get into the endurance and the 24 hours of Spa, like the sunset pictures of them racing through Eau Rouge. Man, just one day we'll be there, boys. One day. Any last thoughts going into Spa? Like I said, we got 2 races back to back coming up, so we'll have a busy couple weekends before we go into the official summer break, even though we had like summer break junior this is just now. Any last thoughts?
I hope that Ferrari's fast. I hope it's as fast as they say it is.
Williams and Alpine, please pick up your game, because there's some teams catching up to you.
I need Williams to really be back.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, y'all had some good starts, but like, y'all are letting the other teams catch up. Like, Sauber's catching up pretty fast to Williams right now.
Junior bought a hat, and he's been waiting to wear it for an episode.
Yeah, for real.
Carlos, please help me.
Yes.
Alex, somebody, please.
So yeah, Williams and Alpine, please have a good. I expect to see at least 2 of your cars, and you have 4 of them, so at least 2 of them should be in Q3. I would hope you would have a much better weekend, especially Williams. As an Alpine fan, all I know is pain. So I mean, I'm just expecting hopefully 12th or better is my goal for Alpine this
Don't
weekend.
forget to set your F1 fantasy lineups.
Oh my gosh,
Dude,
that thing.
I finally
I don't have any really last thoughts. Just hopefully Max will surprise me. Hopefully Williams can come back, and I'd like to see Ferrari's upgrade work just so they can add to the fight.
Please.
And that between the McLarens, and we're not just watching Lando and Oscar
switch
places and ask for pace on the radio and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Other than that, quick shout out to Apollo sponsors: Big City Wings, Apollo's Wing Joint, Houston's Wing Joint, and Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. Zang responsibly. Other than that, as always, Junior, Mark, Ivan, around the circuit. We'll see y'all next week. We'll recap Spa and we'll preview Hungary.
Yep.
And let the drama continue.
Yep.
We're out of here. Peace.
Ferrari, don't let us down.
Please.